Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I figure without ado, it's like down up on my bed. Without ado, why not this one? I know I'm going into 1981 up to 89 with horror films, but I figured why not this one? Not been a while since I've done this one. And that being the original, the classic Friday the 13th. The original Friday the 13th, which is one of my favourite, well, not my favourite, I'd say the sequels were more my favourite, but this one with a very long David Beacon, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. Um, yeah, it doesn't have Jason, it's got Patsy Palmer, but I do like the film because when you think about it, this was inspired by Black Christmas, and when you also think about it, it was inspired by, let me think, Halloween, the original Halloween. At the time, the same producer that did think he saw to now, who is well known with West Haven for doing the original The Last House on the Left. At the time, he had a lot of shit for that, a lot of shit, and he started to go into comedies. Believe it or not, he originally did adult movies, sock, horror, but then he decided to go into comedies and family films and all that. And he thought at that time that's what people wanted. Little does he know that in '78, Halloween was raking it in. It was raking it in. So he decided to make a really, really scary horror movie, go back to horror, being a slasher film, and that would be Friday the 13th, and the rest is history. So you got a great ton of actors. Like I say, you got a lot of well-known young actors raking it in, as well as a very long, like I just said. But use, anything but use. My mate makes his very early test appearance. So you got a lot of good actors in this, a lot, you know what I mean? You got Adrian King as Alex, and so on. So I actually like this. The only bit I never liked, and I'll just say it like I said before, is Friday the 13th, Part 2. Always pissed me off when they killed Adrian King's character off, that being Alex. Who the fuck is Alex? When they killed her off, it totally pissed me off because it makes everything which she goes through in this fucking pointless. Makes it pointless. But anyway, it's cool. That's a different debate for another day. I was about to say. At the time, they had a lot of producers who were going to do this. So I think it was Friday. It was produced by Water Buffers, but it was also produced by Paramount. But Water Buffers only did this one. And then as one thereafter, it was all produced by Paramount. So anyone who saw the DVD and the golden days of video thought, why it was done by Water Brothers and the rest was done by Paramount. There's it. There's the discussion. So the sad about this scary slasher film starts off, if I remember right, it could be right, it could be wrong. If I remember rightly, I think it was based on the 50s. Yeah, 58. I could be right and wrong on that. 958. And we've got a couple making out Friday the 13th, the month. The lad gets stabbed. You don't see the dirt. He's steaming like a fucking knob. Cuts to black. You got the idea he's been bumped as well. And then you got the day opening of all slasher history. Day opening. Friday the 13th comes flying out, smashes a window. Epic. Now I do know the one that did the music do it. Made a mistake and the mic he went ha ha ha, and it echoed. It freaked him out. He thought, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to use that as a theme to song. So it goes shh 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 ha 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 shh shh, and I love it. I love the way he does that in this the thing. It gives it a date feeling and a date opening. The shh 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 ha. Does it was used in the sequels. It kind of pisses me off that he always says, he never said ka ka ka. But you know what? In all fairness, it sounds like ka ka. It's fucking ka ka. So you got all them, you got a date cast of actors, and then you get them all getting killed one by one. Now, I do know we all know Don Safina did the special effects for this. He did the effects for Friday the 13th. I like to say, you got a long David Beacon make his first appearance, you know, staff and foot use. Now, I do know the scene where he gets an arrow stuffed in his neck and you got blood spurting out. Some of that was cut down. You can now get it on DVD, don't go uncut form. But the thing is, The sequels were more graphic, they were more violent than the original, and they've never ever got to see the light of day in its uncut form, which pisses me off. And let's not forget the iconic ending, which of course was inspired by Carrie. You remember the scene in Carrie where the hand comes out? That's what inspired them to do the ending, where the boy jumps out of the boat and gets a very long Asian king, right? So you get a very long Asian king as Alice gets dragged under. That was inspired by the ending of Carrie. I trust Patsy Palmer. We've all seen Friday the 13th, so word of warning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've been warned. Patsy Palmer's the killer. So all of it is, you think it's a man killing all these people. You got one gets a fault slit who jumps out of the car. You get one that gets an axe on the head, so he's making out with a very long David Beacon, and so on. But all the way through the film, you think it's going to be a die, you think it's going to be a die. You find out it's a very long, well, not lungs, he's old at the time, Patsy Palmer, who was a well-known old actress. She was a well-known actress at that time, and she was making it big. No, she was well known for doing a lot of old films, and I felt sorry for Patsy Palmer because she got a lot of shit when she had Friday the 13th. She got a load of shit, a lot of people giving it 8 letters, but in all fairness, she was an actress doing a job. She was doing a job. But I never actually bought this old lady going around killing people. But you got the idea, she's a woman, she's had a nervous sort of a breakdown, she's got a bit round the bend, and her lad got killed. He fell in water in 1957 and he drowned. He drowned in the bottom of the lake. I just go up the daft story that Jason was still alive. He comes back, and the later ones he wears a hockey mask and all this shit. But if you've ever seen it, really, it's a woman. She lost her marbles and she went around killing everyone for the revenge of the death of her son. That's we get the iconic scene where she gets beheaded. If you remember rightly, Asian King Azaris cuts her head off. Great scene. Again, good effects by John Safina. Brilliant effects by John Safina. And he was the one that puts the makeup on the lad, jumps out at the end. At first you get your typical sequel bait ending, and then it ends, and at first the sequel kind of makes it all pointless what Alice goes through. Everything that Alice goes through in the original Friday the 13th is fucking pointless, because all she gets is a fucking thing, an ice pick, if I remember right, a wand, slammed in her fucking head, which pisses me the fuck off. But I'll leave that for another day. Friday the 13th, 1980, damn good slasher film. It was inspired by the original Halloween. It was inspired by Black Christmas. Damn good slasher film from that era, being 1980. Made a lot of sequels, some good, some. I like them all, actually. I do like them all. It just pisses me off. At number 2, everything what Alice went through was fucking pointless just for her to get a fucking ice pick in the head. And I remember saying it before, if there's any way I can cut that scene, I would do, because it just pisses me off. But everything else, though, I do actually like. There's a few good kills. I'm more mad on the sequels than this, but I respect it what it was. That is Friday the 13th, again, 1980. It's a good one. Put into them. Be smart, be safe, and I'll see you later.